Hello and welcome to another Composer Desktop project video. Today I'm going to be covering how to get started in the command line. Now, who is the command line for? It could be for anybody, but the user interfaces, they are using a subset of the things that are available to people who use the command line. So if you're one of those people who's looking to dig into the ultimate functionality of Composer Desktop Project, you consider yourself a power user, or you're just curious, then this video is here to help you get started. And so hopefully this video will help you figure out how to learn. We're going to start with the setup. So we're going to go ahead and go to your favorite browser or whatever you want. And we're going to go to Composer Desktop Project and click CDP Home, download. We're going to download this to our C drive. You can either get the PC with all the documentation, or you can get the PC Lite version. I would recommend the PC Lite version because you can get all the documentation on the website here. So I'm going to download the CDP Lite version. It still has all the GUIs. It's got Sound Loom, it's got SoundShaper. And so you're going to go into it. You're going to go ahead and drag CDPR8 into the C drive. So I'm going to go ahead and navigate to the C drive. And you can just pull that right in. Now I already have it in there, so I'm not going to do that. So, but if you did, it would end up right here. And then you would be able to access everything that's in there. I have the docs and the docs PDF, which I tried to read and I really couldn't understand very well. I have my own project folder in here, and then we have SoundShaper and a temp folder. And really all the stuff that you're going to be wanting to look at are in this folder _CDP and _CDProgs. And these are all the programs that you'll have access to in the command line. And we're going to look through all of these bad boys, but before we can access any of this on the command line, we have to add it to the path and the variables. So we're going to add this specific thing to the environment variables. So basically all I want you to do is hit the Windows key, type in environment, and hit enter. You should get a window like this. I'm going to go ahead and close out everything else. Hit environment variables. You get another window. And then instead of going to the path under this upper one, you're going to go to system variables and hit the path for this one. I already have it here, so I'm going to delete it because I have it highlighted right here. I'm going to copy, I'm going to hit new, I'm going to paste, and hit OK. I'm going to hit OK. I'm going to hit OK. Here's how you test to see if you have CD Projekt Red added to your command line variable path. There's a really easy command you can type in. It's called dirsf. dirsf. And if you get this like channel sample rate thing, that's a specific utility that CDP gives you. All right, this is the learning section. And I just want to tell you guys that I learned how to do this by Googling things, by looking things up in the documentation, being confused by the documentation, Googling things more, finding forum posts that kind of tell people answers on how to do things. So like how you convert things to analysis files. Usually you have to turn your file, your sound file, into a mono sound. How do you do that? I'll be covering that in this video. But for right now, we're just going to be learning how to interface with the stuff. So there are a bunch of different sound effects in this video, in this program, we're going to be going over the modify sound effect. Just so you guys know, everything that you have is in _CDP and _CD progs. That's the pathway that you input into the environment. So you put _CD progs in. So now everything that you have here, these exe files, you can just type into the command line. And so we're going to type in modify. So you can type this in literally anywhere in your computer, I believe. For us, we're going to want to do this inside a project file. And I'll tell you why. Because you're going to be modifying an in file, the file that you want to modify, like a sound. We're going to do pvwave just because our other tutorials used it. And then we're going to name what that sound file is going to be named after we, I guess, screw it up somehow. So we're going to navigate to cd pr8, cd my music stuff, cd cmd sounds, and that's going to be my sound project folder. And we have a sound called pvwave in there. All right, that's pretty loud. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and modify that. So we're going to modify, and we're going to choose, it says modify name, where name can be any one of these things. So it's just a variable placeholder name. We're going to be doing the speed one. So we're going to modify speed. And if you just type in modify and then you type in any of those name things, it kind of teaches you how to use it. So if you do modify speed 1, and what does that do? Function 1 varies the speed and pitch of the sound. We're actually going to be dealing with the vibrato of the sound in the 6th function of modify speed. So I'm just going to type this in. Modify speed 6. And our in file is pvwave, but you don't have to type that for some reason. And our out file is going to be vibrato.wave. I'll see if I don't have to do that. We'll see. And then our vibrate will be 8, and our depth will be 2. And I went ahead and already tested this. And I know it's going to sound way whack, but we're going to do it anyway. All right, and now it's done. So now you can either play it by saying vibrato.wave. And that's pretty wild. And we're going to listen to that again, but we're going to use something else that we have access to called pvplay. And then we're going to do vibrato. And you have to hit a key. And that keeps you in the command line. The good thing about that command is you can use it to play analysis files, which your VLC media player can't play. So now we're going to go to the next part. All these functions that you see, you can type in and you can say, is there a brassage one? There's not a brassage one. There's a blur. I know that. So blur is going to be a spectral file. Now here's the problem with blur. It's a analysis file. It's a spectral analysis effect. So if you try to use blur drunk, it can say application doesn't work with this type of in file. Now what does that mean? It means one of two things. You have to convert your sound from stereo to mono for something to work, or you have to convert your file into an analysis file to use a spectral effect. And in this case, we have to do both, because in order to convert into an analysis file, you have to convert your sound to mono. So we're going to go ahead and do that. So this is what caused me a lot of headache and heartbreak as I was trying to figure out, how do you even convert to mono? Here's how you do it. We're going to use the command housekeep chans, and then the 4th function in chans. And so we're just going to go ahead and type in housekeep. It's got all these little things. I'm going to be using chans. So housekeep chans. We're going to mix down to mono. Housekeep chans 4. 4. And our in file is buh. And our out file is mono underscore buh. And I'm putting mono first because I like to type in just M and then tab complete. And that should be all we need. So now we have mbuh. And we're going to go ahead and look at dir SF. And now we have our mono buh, which only has 1 channel, whereas the other ones have 2. All right, so now that we've created a mono sound, now we can go ahead and turn that into an analysis file. Now, how do we do that? It's as bad as it sounds. We go to dir SF. We look at our sounds and we see that we have a mono sound. We can only do this with mono sounds. And we have mbuh, that stands for mono. So we're going to go ahead and say pvoc analysis, and we're going to do mbuh, and then we're going to do sbuh. I'll just do spectral buh dot wave. Can't read mode of program. All right, so this is an example of I forgot to do something, and we're just going to go ahead and learn together. Pvoc, we're just going to type that in. Pvoc has name mode, so I forgot to put the mode in. So we're going to do pvoc now, and then we are just going to do the standard analysis. So we're going to do pvoc anal 1 in file out file, and then that's going to do it. So now if we do dir SF, we have a lot of channels in this spectral file, and the bytes are a lot as well. And it's a float number sample. It basically just screws up everything. Nothing makes sense. So now we can use the blur sound effect. I'm going to use the blur sound effect, and we're just going to, for the fun of it, we're going to say blur name. Name can be any one of these. Drunk looks the coolest, so drunk. And I have already tested out some of this stuff. So we're going to go ahead and use blur drunk. It looks like there's no like mode, so we're not going to worry about that. We're going to do spbuh. I'm going to turn this into drunk, sp drunk. And then we're going to do range, start time, and duration. So I have 3, 0, and 4. And we're just going to see what that sounds like. First off, let's do dir SF. We have sp drunk.wave, but if we actually try to play this, it's not going to really work because it's not really a wave file. It opens VLC, but it doesn't do anything. So what we're going to do is we're going to type in pvplay. Pvoc analysis, you'll remember, takes us into this spectral state. So pvplay, I assume, probably has the same meaning. So pvplay, sp drunk.wave. We're going to hit a key. All right, that was painful, but also really cool. We're going to play that one more time. All right, that was really loud. I'll probably have to edit that down later, but that all came from how do we make this into something that we can play normally? Well, we have to use pvoc analysis. Well, in reality, we don't use pvoc, we use pvoc anal is how to get here, but how to get out, we use pvoc synth. Well, let's go to synth first. So you just do pvoc synth in file out file. So sp drunk, and then you do, let's do drunk.wave. And now if you do drunk.wave, you can play it in your normal VLC player, and now you're good to go. This isn't like the most polished tutorial. However, I hope that this helps you figure out what you need to figure out to make some stuff. I hope you guys found this helpful. If you did, leave a like, and maybe I'll make more. Bye.